Good morning, everyone. We would like to thank community members, families, faculty, staff, guests for coming out to our dedication service for Scott Yahr. At this time, we have Christian Fidel, who's going to say a few words on his behalf.
Unbelievable. That's what Mr. Yahr would say every time a ref would make a bad call sitting up in that box. Many of us who grew up in this small town of Glen Allen and spent lots of time in this gym have either shared memories or moments with Mr. Yahr through the sports that were broadcast over the many years. Mr. Yahr and the KCM staff have had a huge impact on the sports community in the Copper River Valley by announcing the games, whether they were away or right here at home. That dedication to this community will forever last in the hearts of many. In honor of Mr. Yahr's dedication and in remembrance of his service to this community, the Glen Allen schools are renaming and dedicating the sound box that sits above everyone in the back, where Mr. Yahr spent numerous hours sitting while announcing the games. It is no longer a regular sound box, but now named Scott Yahr, Voice of the Valley. Mr. Stickney, who is our high school shop teacher, has volunteered his time to make a plaque that will replace the Panther head with a dedication to Scott Yahr and his service to the sports community. The purpose of the plaque is to keep his life and legacy alive. While sitting on the bench, players won't be able to see Mr. Yahr physically or in the sound box, but that's okay, because he has a better seat right now, announcing games and continuing to touch hearts through his family and friends and this community. This one's for that radio guy, 907. Thank you.
Before we do the revealing of the plaque, I would like to offer the opportunity for anyone that would like to have a few words to say on Ms. Scott's behalf. Come on down, if you feel comfortable.
I just would like to say a few words about Mr. Yahr. He's never forget his life on our school here. He's involved with a lot of stuff. Doesn't matter where the sport going, north, east, south, he's on there. He's driving the bus. And it's a memory of him today is unbelievable. Unbelievable that we're not going to hear his voice again. But the dedication today that we never forget him in our life here. That we come into the gym here and we look up there when the game is started. Mrs. Yahr, I love you. We'll be here to help you whatever you need. And you know I'm across the street from you. And I'll be there for you to take care of you while your girls is not here. So I'd like to thank you for all the staff and the students that you involve with sport. And I hope that you guys never forget his life with his voice in our community here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Steele, one of the board members here at the local district, and I guess for the students that may or may not have known Scott Yahr, what you should probably take away from this is his dedication and commitment to this community. So as you grow older, as you figure out your priorities, dedication and commitment should be two of them. Wherever you live, wherever you go, be dedicated to the people that you care about, be dedicated to the community that you're involved with, because that's what Scott Yahr was. He was dedicated and committed to this community. He stayed 7 days in Alaska with us last year. I mean, and he didn't complain. He was the last one on the plane. He wasn't the first one on the plane. He was willing and dedicated to do that for the kids, is to get the kids out of Unalaska before himself, and that's just who he was. He was dedicated and committed to his community. So if you didn't know Mr. Yahr, understand that take away from this what you can learn from Mr. Yahr, which is dedication and commitment. Be dedicated to the team that you're with, be dedicated to the organization you may be employed by, be dedicated to the classmates that you have right now, and be committed to them, because that's what really matters. Commitment and dedication. So remember those two words. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to invite the Yahr family up for the revealing of the plaque. And we have Toa and Bobby. So we need a little crowd involvement. We need to do a drum roll for the actual reveal. So this will be our memorial plaque for Mr. Scott Yahr that will be hung up where the Panther is. And Mr. Kistler will be putting that up later this afternoon. Thank you. You're welcome. At this time, I would like to invite our superintendent, Mrs. Ashton, to do our closing remarks.
So I came here a year and a half ago as your superintendent, and one of the people that welcomed me was Mr. Yahr. He did some interviews with me. We talked before and after those interviews and got to know him a little bit. And as Mr. Fields mentioned, one of the beauties about Mr. Yahr was that he was such a valuable member of a community. And I think all of you should look at him in that manner. This is a person who, no matter who you are, once you met him, you just sensed that he was a good man, he was a kind man, and he cared a lot about our students. And although he was the voice of the Valley and did a great job doing his radio job, he was always there for us as our announcer, and I think he really enjoyed being part of your lives. He is a role model. He will continue to be a role model. And every time you look at that radio booth, I want you to remember that you don't even have to know a person for very long to know that they're good and they're kind and they're a productive member of the community. And I hope that for every one of you, that you will take that message away, like Mr. Field said, that this is a person to emulate. And the Yahr family, I only knew him for about a year and a half, but it surprised me how his passing touched me. And I can see in your faces, and I can see by your lives, that you are part of Scott's legacy. And I thank you for sharing him with us all.
Thank you everyone for coming. At this time, we would like to release the students to go back to class.